Thanks for listening to English Go Podcast. If you'd like to listen without adverts, read episode transcripts, or listen to extra bonus episodes, please check the description for more details.
Acast powers the world's best podcasts. Here's a show that we recommend.
What is The Briefing Room? It's a behind-the-scenes look at how the criminal justice system works and the lives of the people within that system.
If you love true crime, well, these are the real people who do the job every day of making sure justice is served.
Hi, I'm Detective Dave.
I'm Detective Dan. Together we have decades of experience in local law enforcement, a profession that we think is often misunderstood.
So we're going to explore how to do it right, and we won't shy away from when it's done wrong. These are stories you'll hear nowhere else. Unique, frank, and unvarnished.
From the team that brought you Small Town Dicks, this is The Briefing Room. Episode 1 drops on August 30th.
We'll meet you in the briefing room.
Acast helps creators launch, grow, and monetize their podcasts everywhere. Acast.com.
Hello. Well, haven't I had a lovely break? I've been off for 2 weeks. I've not done any work for 2 weeks, and I've just been holidaying in Japan. I had a lovely holiday. My parents came over to visit, and yeah, it was pretty amazing, to be honest. It was a really good time. It was a busy time because we went to so many places, and I had an itinerary. I had like a schedule, like a plan of many different places that I wanted to go to, and I couldn't fit it all in because I'd really tried to pack in too much into 2 weeks, so I couldn't get it all in. And I think it only rained on one day. Like it probably rained a little on a few days, and I think we were quite lucky because we missed the rain. Like maybe we went indoors or something, or maybe we were traveling and it stopped raining whilst we were traveling. So we were really lucky with the weather, I think. And because we had quite a few cloudy days, actually. And because of that, it sort of kept the temperature down sometimes, apart from when it was really sunny and really hot. But anyway, like I say, it was a great experience overall. I think for me and my parents, for my parents, because it was the first time they've ever come to Japan. And I mean, the places they've visited before, like Australia, they speak English there, and they've been to Portugal, but that's, it's European, it's in Europe, so it's not England, definitely not. But Japan is very different to England in some ways, and in some ways it's very similar. But yeah, I think it's different enough for them to be really surprised by this country and really shocked, but in a good way, not in a bad way. So yeah, I think it was a great experience for them, and it was a good experience for me. It was a great experience for me as well, just because it was nice to finally have someone to share all these things with. Someone British, I should say, to share all these things with. So, I mean, I can find something weird or unusual or different in Japan. And when I'm with my wife, I'll say oh, look at that over there. That's strange, isn't it? But it's not strange. It's not strange to her at all. It's just completely normal. So she can't really understand what I'm talking about. Whereas with my parents, they were saying to me, "Oh, look at this and look at that over there," and that's a bit strange. We don't do it like that in England and stuff like that. And I could understand it all, but because it wasn't my first time here, because I've been here 4 times before. Is this my 5th time? I'm not sure, or 6th. Who knows? It's not as interesting to me anymore. Like all the differences that you spot when it's your first time here. So I could understand their interest, my parents' interest. Oh, look at that. Look at, they do this like that over here. And I was like, yeah, they do. Strange, isn't it? But I wasn't like, wow, that's amazing, because it's sort of become a bit normal to me. So maybe a bit more, I'm becoming a bit more like my wife. I think things are looking very normal to me now. So you've got like my parents' level of surprise is like level 10, and my wife's level of surprise is level 0, and I'm like level 5 in the middle of that, I think, maybe. But anyway, like I say, it was really good to be able to talk to someone British who understood why things are different and why things are good and why some things are not so good and all of that kind of stuff. So it was a very different experience for me, and I hope my wife enjoyed it too. She said she did. I know it was a little bit stressful for her, because it would be, wouldn't it? I mean, it's your husband's parents, so you're probably changing your behaviour a little and being a little bit more, well behaved. But her behaviour is really good all the time anyway. So, but no, not only that, it was a full-on 2 weeks of English for her. She spoke a little bit of Japanese to me from time to time, but I might have said a few words. I think it's the least amount of Japanese I've spoken since I've been over here, maybe. I stopped studying for 2 weeks. I don't think I did anything at all. No podcasts, no books, no vocabulary study, nothing. Just a complete break. And it was really interesting to see Japan as a tourist again. Because, I live here now, and whenever you live in a country that you're very, very passionate about, some place that you love, it just becomes a bit boring and normal, to be perfectly honest. It's like if you have a hobby, like a long time ago when I was, I don't know, when I was young, when I was a kid, I was interested in computers and programming. I just thought it was fascinating, like, you can make all these kinds of software. It's like, maybe like when an artist looks at like a blank piece of paper and they think, I can create anything on this piece of paper. I thought that about computers and programming. And I think I really liked it for a very, very long time. And then I started doing it as a job, and then I didn't like it so much anymore. I think if you want a good way to like destroy your interest, destroy your passion in something, you should probably do it for your job. But that's not true for everyone. I think some people do things for their job and they're really passionate about them. But yeah, sometimes, or maybe many times, it does have that effect. And I think the same is true for a country that you really admire or really enjoy visiting or something like that. Once you start living there, it just becomes a country. It has to. You can't have like every single day being amazing and exciting. That's impossible, because you're just living your normal life there. Just doing normal things, working there, living, buying food, paying bills, all the stuff that's pretty boring, to be honest. And I think wherever you do that, maybe it becomes normal, maybe it becomes a bit boring. So, like I say, it was really fun for me to be able to be like a tourist in Japan again, which I haven't really done at all, I don't think, since I've been here. So we went to many places. We went to, obviously Tokyo, because that's almost next door. It is next door to me. I don't know. Why did I say almost? It is. It's really close to me. And then we went to Kyoto, and we went to Hiroshima, and then back to Kyoto, and then to Osaka. So we got to see quite a few different places and all different kinds of things. Little alleyways lined with loads of restaurants, all lit up at night, and many temples and shrines. And then we saw countryside as well. We went for a walk, like a countryside walk, quite a few times. And then we went into Tokyo as well and saw all of the, tons and tons of tall buildings. So a really good range of like different types of scenery, I think we got to see whilst we were over here. Oh, and we also went to the beach a couple of times and saw the ocean as well. Well, you would if you went to the beach, wouldn't you? So yeah, it was a really good trip, and it made me once again sort of like fall in love with Japan. When I would come here before I was living here, you know, you might be here for, I think the shortest I was ever here was for like 2 weeks, and the longest I was ever here was for about 3 months almost. So during that like shortish amount of time, you'd try and do as much as possible. You know, you'd visit all these different places, and it was like just being on holiday. That's not necessarily true, because sometimes I came here when I was working remotely, so I could only go out on the weekends. But like, you know, you'd try and do all of these things that you can't normally do when you're at home. All these places you want to visit and stuff like that, you go out and visit them. But since I've been living here, it's like, well, I could go, you know, like I could go to Kyoto. It's really easy now. I live here. I just have to get on a train or a bullet train and go. But you don't. It's like when I was living in England. It's like, well, you know, I've always wanted to go to Cambridge, and I've never been. And it's like at any time I was living in England, it would have been very simple to get on a train, or, you know, I used to have a car in England. Get in my car, just drive to Cambridge, done. I never did. For some reason, it's like when you have all the time in the world, when you have loads of time to do something, you don't do it, which is a shame. But anyway, I hope you can understand what I'm trying to explain and why it was so fun to go around Japan again like a tourist. And I'm going to leave it there for now, but I have plenty to talk to you about. Lots of good listening practice coming for you soon. So until next time, bye-bye.
Acast powers the world's best podcasts. Here's a show that we recommend.
What is The Briefing Room?
It's a behind-the-scenes look at how the criminal justice system works and the lives of the people within that system.
If you love true crime, well, these are the real people who do the job every day of making sure justice is served.
Hi, I'm Detective Dave.
I'm Detective Dan. Together we have decades of experience in local law enforcement, a profession that we think is often misunderstood.
So we're going to explore how to do it right, and we won't shy away from when it's done wrong. These are stories you'll hear nowhere else. Unique, frank, and unvarnished.
From the team that brought you Small Town Dicks, this is The Briefing Room. Episode 1 drops on August 30th. We'll meet you in the briefing room.
Acast helps creators launch, grow, and monetize their podcasts everywhere. Acast.com.